plate off. And cap. This console was sent in for our basic Unbrick service. So, going to see who modded it. It might have been me. I don't know. I didn't recognize the name of the customer off the bat, but having done 1,000 consoles, I don't always recognize the name. Okay. Hey, what's up, guys? People gonna watch? So no really objective today or anything. I'm just gonna do kind of the work that I have to do, and figured I'd stream it and hang out with you guys. So I got a new mount for my camera, so there should be less jiggle cam this time around. So at least that's positive. What's up, Blue? No, I just read your name. Sorry, I don't know you. I don't remember your name from anything else. I really like this cordless screwdriver thing. I wish I would have done this 500 consoles ago or something. I did all of these by hand for a long time. 2 a.m. Finally on live stream. I've been doing live streams not that infrequently. My last one's only been a couple weeks ago. So, where are you at that it's 2 a.m.? Cough Anthony's. I don't know what that means. Brown boy, where are you at that it's 2 a.m., man? See, it's only 3 p.m. here, so that makes you 11 hours different. Say hi, please, Ryan Levy. That's a weird request, I guess, but hi. Levy, is it Levy or Levi? Right, Ryan Levi? Levi probably makes more sense, though. Kuwait. Oh, all right, that makes sense. Other side of the world. Alrighty. Your name is Anthony S. Oh, okay. I do recognize that, I think. This looks like probably one of mine that I modded, which is good. It means I'll have the backup nans. One of the ways that I can kind of tell here is that sorry. I like to put a little bit of hot glue on top of the switches on my cool runners when I do that, just to keep them from accidentally getting bumped into the wrong position and messing up. So, he said my name, love you, no homo. Alright, man, no homo. I'll buy it. Alright, so DVD drive out. Pull out here. Yeah, should be pretty easy. Let's look at the LEDs. Well, I don't know. Maybe somebody asked for this one to be left stock. I guess that does happen from time to time. Those LEDs are still the stock LEDs. So, this guy sent in the console because, according to, I mean, I guess the reason that he would have sent it in for the brick-proof service, or the, not brick-proof, but the Unbrick service is that it's bricked, right? So, I should have done this probably before decasing it, but sometimes I get excited. Go ahead and plug it in and just validate that it's bricked. Alright, so we're trying to glitch. Let's see. Did one light up? No more. Wow, 10 people watching already. So, I'm going to see if I can look up this console and see if I have backups for it. Because if I don't, I'm going to be moving on to the next one real quick. Because the current console, if I don't have backups for it, then I would have to build a one from donor. Or I'll ask the customer to see if they can provide some backups for that sort of thing. But if it's one I RGH'd, I keep backups for all of those. So, small request. We need a Squirt PCB 16 megabyte dual NAND tutorial with Ace V3. Really, we have to just tinkering around if you got time. I don't have a Squirt dual NAND item, and I really have no desire to do dual NANDing anymore. I got a few demons on my shelf, and man, it's just not worth it. Consoles are so cheap, bro, that I'll just buy a second console, right? Like, why would I ever spend that much money on a dual NAND setup? Like, what's the advantage? Talk me into it. Like, somebody sell me on it. Tell me why I would need to do that. Can you mod an overheated Xbox? You could, but I don't do red ring repair, so I don't know what benefit that would really get you. So it looks like I looked up the serial number on the console. I do have backups for this. So what I'm going to need to do is actually just go ahead and install a NAND header. So I got some NAND read-write wires, and we'll get that installed so that we can flash this thing back to function. Let's see. I can buy an Xbox cheaper than a Demon. Yeah, that's the whole point. Like, a Demon, even on my store, I've got a couple of them for sale for like $75. Not because I necessarily really feel like they're worth it. They're just so rare, I guess, that they kind of have extra value because of that. And if I can get a whole console, slim, for $80, $90, why would I spend that off, on a dual NAND and then have to go through the long process of actually installing it? Plus, then, my consoles, I sell them, right? So, if I sell a dual NAND, unfortunately, a lot of the hassle comes in when the customer gets it, and they don't remember to change their modded NAND from their retail NAND, and all of a sudden now they're mad at me because their dual NAND is now useless because they got their retail side banned, and they can't use the retail side anymore because they weren't running a separate KV on their modded side of the NAND. So, not really helpful for me. I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I mean, by all means, check out the teamx360.co.uk site. So, got me in silver sanction. I don't know what that means. What's silver sanction? And who's Speedy, and why is he saying delete this? I'm pretty sure he's trying to say delete, but yeah. What are you saying, Speedy? SPDY? Delete this. Huh? Alright, so back to this section. We're going to solder in our NAND wires. I know you're staring at half of my hand here. I can rotate it and clear that up. Oh, is that a clan? The other thing I asked about, silver sanction. I don't know what booling off the Xanax means. I feel like maybe I'm an old person and you guys are just here to make fun of me. At least I'm an old person that knows how to solder, huh? I have some value. I like nandex. Okay. Congratulations. Let's see. Blue, red. Next. Red. Oh, sorry. Niggas use dumb lit. Okay. So the Xanax thing, and now that, I think I'm gonna probably shut you off here pretty soon. Stream crash. Is it buffering again? What's the RGH that you can change to a normal Xbox and then a modded Xbox? They're talking about a dual NAND, a console that's got two NANDs in one. But again, I kind of went off for a second there about that. Bottom line is, I don't personally feel like that's a particularly good value. It actually makes more sense to have two entirely separate consoles, even from a cost perspective. It's a Xanax pill, bruh. I know what a pill is, but why are you talking about it on a stream about modding Xboxes? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Can you play region-locked games on an X-keyed Xbox? No. An X-keyed Xbox, unfortunately, has the same restrictions as the DVD drive that would have been in it. So, let's see. What's a good server that's cheap? I have no idea, man. I don't really go online personally. So, it's a good thing to ask the chat room. Maybe they'll have some suggestions. There we go. Oh, sorry about the sniffles, guys. It's going to be annoying, I'm sure, but I don't really have another choice. I have the sniffles, so you have to hear it. Mike Oxlong is the guy who bricked my RGH. Okay. I'm sorry. Who is that? Should I recognize that name? Screw it all. How's it going, Mrs. Wiggy Modern Kid? Yeah, everybody's good, man. Everybody's pretty happy. We're all feeling pretty good. You know, had a good Thanksgiving. You know, hung out with the family, had a good time. Dude, what does bricked mean? Bricked means it doesn't power on, doesn't work, right? Usually bricked, and in my terms specifically, what I'm trying to say when I say bricked is like you had a functional RGH. It didn't overheat, it didn't shut off randomly, you didn't solder something to it. It means you just flashed a bad NAND to it, right? So you wrote a bad NAND file, and then the console became unresponsive. The brick repair in my book is me going in and doing what I just did, which is soldering in a NAND read writer, so that I can load up the console for you and rewrite a valid NAND. So let's see. Let's see. Didn't want to work here. All right, fine. I'll just put it on my desktop. All right. So what I'm doing real quick is bricked means you don't know how to work an RGH. Do I know Davis or not? He's talked about me on Instagram a couple of times, but I don't really know him. As far as I know, I haven't been paying attention to Instagram. Mike Laturis is a good server. What happened to the stealth servers video? Man, I messed up on that one. I asked for a request make it able so you can send ring of light boards to get modded. Yeah, I guess I could do a ring of light only service. The question, what happened to the stealth servers video? I simply just haven't had the bandwidth, and I've kind of backed out on even doing it in the first place. There's so many different ones these days. I have no idea which one of them is even updated to 17511. So, you know, I've loaded up the UPD flash in my NAND, and I'm gonna see what we can do. Yeah, we're writing the NAND now. Actually, I think I can show you guys that. Let's see. Lower left desk. There we go. So I loaded up the updflash.bin that I had the backup from making this, and just started to write the NAND. So when this finishes, hopefully we will have a functional RGH once again. So that's writing right now, and then when that finishes, we'll boot the thing back up. Now this is a big block fat, so it's going to take an unfortunately long time. Can you make X-keyed Xbox regions free? No. Again, an X-key is the small little device. I got one right here. Let me show it to you guys. Here you go. So an X-key is this little bitty PCB board deal right in here, right? So you can see it's got a micro SD card slot. It's got the same little pin header deal that the DVD tray uses. And then on the other side of the board, it's really hard to see because it's all dark, there are SATA connectors in there. And basically it just sits in the middle between the DVD drive and the motherboard, right? So this pretends to be the DVD drive and reads from a USB stick. but it doesn't falsify anything else. If your image, if the ISO image that you're loading is region locked, your console's still not going to read that game. If the image is region free, then by all means it'll play that up. So, can I preload Black Ops 2 mod menus if you buy from me? No, I don't preload menus at all. Period. The end. Ever. So sorry about that. All right. So we are, probably say about 30% done with the NAND writing now on the right here. My cheapest RGH console right now, pretty much the only RGHs that I'm selling are my 250 gig slims with power supply, the whole deal. It's pretty much a full setup, and that's at $210. Occasionally I was getting fats and selling them for just a little bit over 100. I think they were in the 130, 140 range. But I haven't really had the opportunity to buy many fats lately. Buying the slims is just way easier. I get way more of them, so that's what I've been sticking to lately. So we're still waiting for this one to finish writing. While I do that, I might go pull out my number 2, because this was a send-in. This was the next send-in in line, which is an Unbrick service. I have another couple Unbrick services and a DVD flash. Do you guys want to see a DVD drive flashed, or do you want to see more RGH stuff? Let me know. Just holler in the comments, and we'll do whatever you guys vote for next. We'll get it in the order. You're the reason my man Vin H plays TU6. Buckets is a hoster and denial. Dude, I don't know what any of these things say. ERA Buckets is a hoster in denial. Alright, so there's RGH, there's a yes. There's DVD, RGH, RGH. How much do you RGH fats for? So all of my send-in services are $75 or $85, depending on whether you prepay or post-pay. There's another DVD, so let me go back and count. DVD. I think people are voting more than once. Yeah, Spare XC Mods, RGH, DVD. Somebody tally it up. I'm too lazy. It's straight. Now he's just saying. Now you're saying it again. Dude, you can't vote more than once. Doesn't work that way. RGH any day. All right. 16D4S flashing without PCB replacement. Oh yeah, I've done a bunch of those. The kamikaze method, or the what's the other one? So that's the WinBond stuff, and then there's another method where you scrape a trace and then have to do a probe thing and then reapply the trace that you broke. You have to resolder it, whatever. Again, PCBs are so cheap. You can get them out of China for less than $10 a piece. Sometimes it's even cheaper to just replace it rather than spend all the time to go through with the work that's required to reuse it. 10 DVDs, 15 RGH. Yeah, I don't trust you, Sparamax. Spark. Somebody phonetically say that out. Say, "Daddy, I'll laugh my ash off." Weekend modder, you're sick. I'm sick? Is that good? Good sick? I don't know. Oh, you were updating your RGH and now it won't turn on. Alright, so Speedy, turn it completely off, plug it back in, and press the eject button. And okay. So press the eject button and then tell us whether or not it boots Zell still. Can I send you a DVD drive to flash the whole console? I much prefer the entire console so that I can also test it, basically, so I can validate and show you in a proof video that it does in fact work. All right, we're coming up on the last section of the flashing here. So finally, this is going to be resolved. Cool, Alject, you're buying an RGH. Awesome. No, it doesn't boot Zell. Okay. Dude, if it doesn't, Sparksy, that's not accurate. If it doesn't power up at all, so not getting, let's be clear here. If it powers up, gets to the boot logo, and then resets, that's absolutely a plug-in steal. If it doesn't power up, it never boots, it never goes into the dashboard or whatever, and then you power it up with the eject button and it doesn't boot Zell, that is the definition of bricked in my mind, if it was functional just before that. So unfortunately, Speedy, your only option is to have somebody physically open up the console, just like I did with this one, solder in the programmer, just like I did here, and flash the NAND using a hardware programmer. So there's that disconnected. I like to disconnect the power, reconnect the power, hook up my HDMI, use my handy dandy infrared remote, power the thing back on. And it's not coming on there, so let's press the power button. You must have the settings set that the infrared remote doesn't work, which is normal. Alright, straight up to booting here. And if we switch over to the game capture, sweet, we have unbricked this console. Although I realize now that I probably just wrote a 17511, no, not a 17511 image, a 17502 image. So I really need to do it one more time here with the 17511. You thought brick means when you're a comedian, RNH, aren't you? Oh, hit it with my hammer! You guys are hilarious. Do I know how to knack? I don't know what the hell that is. I have a Jasper. I got $40 for my birthday, and I got a Cool Runner Rev C, and I need a DVD drive. What else do you need to mod? I don't know how all those things go together necessarily. So a Jasper can be RGH'd. It could be, the DVD drive could be flashed. If you have the original drive and you can get the DVD key out of it, you could buy a drive and program it and replace it. So what I'm going to do real fast here so we can move on to the next thing is, first of all, I'm going to change back to the camera. I'm going to remove my NAND wires real fast so that I can use them on the next console, because even though this one's on an old dash, I can update that via software now. So there's no need for the hardware programmer any longer. Alright. So this thing can go back together. Even though it's not totally done, because I will update it. My Unbrick services always include updating to the latest dashboard. So again, sorry about the sniffles, guys. Alright, bring this back up while I reassemble. Oh, I should clean that up a little bit first. These little cotton pads you can get at the Dollar Tree, I think, is where they sell them. Work really well for pulling out. It took me 23 minutes to unbrick. Are you impressed or not impressed? Because I would have done this way faster without talking to you guys, to be honest. I need to kind of focus a little better. I just figured I'd turn the stream on for the heck of it, so I should probably focus while I'm doing it. There we go. Cleaned up those points. Alright, real fast. Can you scree knack? Is that English? Yo, get on. We got SSP and knockback with two boxes. Is I don't know what that is either. The screen black. Yeah, that was because I had it on the game capture and didn't move on. You're gonna RGH a Jasper later. Cool. You still have the board and the DVD drive, so you could, if it's a FAT, you could pull out the DVD key out of that and then flash it back to a replacement drive. DVD flashing in general is the process of writing firmware back to a DVD drive PCB. Now sometimes, and in most cases actually, the flashing means, holy shit, was that melted to shit before? Look at this, guys. I don't know if I did that or if it was that way. I have so many extra of these though, I'm not going to send it back with this just in case that, I don't know if that would make it not work, but it makes me nervous. So I'm going to roll off screen here for just a second and go get a spare one of these that I have in my closet. All right, people said I was crazy for saving these. Look at that, whole baggie full. Okay, yo, what's poppin' B? We bowling out here with, dude. I don't know. Extra 23 minutes is fast. Okay, cool. Much better. I feel better about that cable. All right, DVD drive back in. SATA. Yeah, this one does have that crappy 12 volt fan mod too. This is pretty obviously a GameStop refurb. They'd use this like cable sleeving and this little adapter here that plugs in. Did I answered? Oh, did the audio go out? You guys can still hear me? Somebody holler at me if you can't hear me, I guess. Where's the form for this? Did I throw it in? Yeah. Cool. Business slowed down, or still people getting this? You know, I swear to God, I get asked this all the time, and I am impressed as hell that this stuff is still going. Now somebody's decided that they think they need to call me right now. Funny. You can still hear me. Okay, cool. How am I going to make a video of how to RGH an Xbox? I've only done 15 or 20 of them. If you go back and look through my channel, you will find a bunch of flavors of videos on how to do everything from old school JTAG to actual RGH to RGH2 to RGH 1.2, all that sort of stuff. So the information is there already on the YouTube channel, nonetheless. Oh man, that was probably really loud. I just realized that I didn't put the little ring of light diffuser thing in the front of this, and those are a pain in the butt once you get the top screwed in. So this deal. If you don't put this back, it just looks like all of the segments of the ring of light are lit up all at the same time. These little diffusers keep it in line. Okay. Hi, can I do a video on how to install the nandex drivers? I guess I could, but if you Google how to install the nandex drivers, Team Executor, who invented the nandex, have a really good number of tutorials on their site. I mean, if you can read, you should be able to follow those pretty easily. They talk about how you have to disable driver signature enforcement, and then yeah, they're not that hard to follow. You give that a shot. Audio hasn't gone out for me once. Cool. When the update came out on my retail Xbox, I went to update into Avatar. It also took all my achievement from my account, so I had to re-download. You know, again, I'll kind of claim my same ignorance that I always do, which is I don't take my modded consoles online. Period. I just don't do it. So because of that, I really just don't have the experience that a lot of other guys do with the software. I think it's great that people can take them online and have fun, and it's cool, but it's not something that that I can really help out with very strongly. I don't know if that's normal at all. All right, so the casing was not fitting on here. There we go. Man. Where can you buy a nandex? I have nandex for sale right this second. They're out of stock on my site. I'm expecting 10 more to arrive like Wednesday or Thursday this week. So feel free to stop back by store.weekendmodder.com in about 3, 4, 5 days, and you should be able to pick them up. They're around about $45. Do you know how if we're first made? I don't know what that means. You bought yours at Target, right? Okay, cool. Maybe in the Target parking lot. How do I pay for a send-in? So, as described in very great detail on the send-in service page, you can send cash with the console. Yes, that's absolutely acceptable. You can also prepay for it online if you choose. So you could... I don't know what is up with this screw, but I'm about to just skip it because it's not that important. So you can prepay for it online, or you can send cash with the console. Totally awesome. You bought your RGH from GameStop. I find that hard to believe. Maybe they didn't know it was an RGH. I doubt they would take an RGH in trade, unless it was something just a local GameStop manager kind of took upon himself. But I think quite certainly that officially they don't sell RGHs there. Expo says, what are signs of a dead chip? You have a CR3 Lite, RGH 1.2 Demon Dual NAND, and it worked great for 6 months, but now the hack NAND doesn't boot, but the retail does. It could be a dead chip, but it could also just be a bad NAND image flashed to the RGH side of the house. Have you done any NAND updates? Have you done any NAND updates at all since the console, stopped working? How do you send a console? Send in, so SENDIN .weekendmodder.com. Sendin.weekendmodder.com will walk you through the process. There's information on how to verify what motherboard type you have, and then information on how you can place your order, and you'll get access to my send-in service form, which is how you'll get my address, and you'll ship it off to me, and I'll mod it, and send you an email, and tell you it's all done, and you can send it back. So, totally how that works. You're just playing games normal. You had to hardwire the Demon, like it's not laid on there. You actually ran wires from all the pads instead of the other stuff. Alright, so this one is done, at least for now. I'll update the NAND image via software here in a little while. Have I ever broke a console that someone sent in? I haven't broken one. I have had consoles that well, you know what? I take that back. A number of years ago, I did have somebody, I hope you guys can still hear me. I did have somebody send in a console, or did a local drop-off, and they, it was a 4 gig Corona when those were still pretty new, and I butchered the pad trying to get my 4 gig NAND reader writer tool of the day back off so that I could reuse it. So in that particular case, it was very clearly my fault. I bought the guy a new console. I mean, not brand new. I just replaced it with a like console. This is a different fat Xbox, by the way. This is the one that we're going to do the DVD flashing on. I've also had a couple of consoles go red ring while I was RGHing them. that were like previously red ring repaired. But that's not exactly, you know, my fault or something that I can control. So if they go red ring while I have them, quite simply, I just let the customer know, hey, your console red ringed, unfortunately, and you know, they can send in another one or do whatever. I give them their money back minus whatever it costs me to ship it back to them. Every time you try installing the nandex, it says Windows found a problem installing the driver software. Do I repair? So that one, again, check out on the Team Executor website. There are a series of tutorials that talk about disabling driver signature enforcement. That's probably what you really need to do. Do I repair? I don't repair any consoles, period. Xenon launch consoles are not. Axis 2084. Jitter Sky. You nearly caught your Xbox on fire. It started sparking. I've never seen anything like that. I live in the... Screw my cousin states. No, I live in Colorado. Dominic wants to know how KVs were first made. KVs are baked into the NAND image of the motherboard. So Microsoft has created all of the KVs that are or ever will be. They designed the system architecture and wrote them out. So, yeah. Ban RNH. Okay. I think that sounds like a good idea. He has been kind of a dick. Block user. Done. Disable driver signature. Yeah, exactly. That is the key to getting the nandex drivers installed. All right. Actually, what am I doing? I don't need to take all the motherboard screws out to just do a DVD flash. I just need access to the DVD drive. So I only have to take the long ones out. All right. Take out the little eject button. And this case is falling apart. This DVD drive's obviously been into before. Let me look at his send-in paper. Alright. Send-in paper. Order number. Modded the fans. Okay. Seems like he just wants a straight-out normal flash. Of course, the sticker is gone, so it makes identifying the model number a little bit more difficult. I'm going to guess that this is probably still a light-on, based on the fact that this is a Jasper. So I use, really kind of old school, I want to call this a CR3 Pro, I think is what they call them. Basically, it takes a Molex power, 4-pin power adapter like you use within a PC, and, oh, how is he back? Block user, put user in timeout. Maybe I'll just make him a moderator. Do I buy consoles like your RGH? So, I get why somebody would ask that, but I'll spell it out this way, and I'm not trying to be mean, but just to throw it out, like, why would I buy a RGH? I can buy retails and RGH them. What benefit does it offer me to buy a console already RGH? I don't know. It kind of doesn't make some sense in that way. All right. So what I have here, I'm crying. What am I crying about? I'll just ban all of you. Screw it. I don't need to put up with that. Boom. Dominic Drake Gaming. Cool. Somebody check him out. Maybe he's got some good stuff. So this is a regular like power socket you get out of the wall to that Molex adapter, and I have a power adapter back here on my desk that I can reach, and then that will plug into my CR3 Pro. I hope that's the right name of it. And then this is how I'll power the DVD drive. I'm also going to need my X360 USB. I do know the name of that one. So that one will plug in via USB. This need the probe with the Team Executor probe for the stuff there. I'm just going to double check the version here in Jungle Flasher before I get too set up with this. so here we go. USB plugged in. Get this a little higher so you guys can see everything. So SATA to SATA. Yeah, I think so. There's a retard in the chat. How to disable driver signature. So take that comment, how do I disable driver signature, copy it, paste it into Google, and look through the links, man. I'm not trying to be mean about it, but man, it's pretty much that simple. Cool. All right, so X360 USB is set up. I'm gonna close my JRunner and give you guys a view back of the desktop here. Fire up Jungle Flasher. So Tools, Jungle Flasher. Oh, that's JRunner. I picked it again. Jungle Flasher. Here we go. All right, Jungle Flasher starting up. I'm not mad at all. I don't preload menus because it involves basically piracy, right? Like, in order to preload a menu, you have to have the game already present. In order to load the game, you have to own the game. Well, if I load it on every customer's console, I obviously don't own that many copies of it. I thought about offering a service where, like, if the customer, so it is a Lite-On 16D2S, we can see in the settings here, so we probably are going to need our probe. So I thought about offering a service where, like, you actually have to send your copy of the game with your console if you want me to load a menu for it. But frankly, I'm just kind of lazy. I don't want to load menus. It takes extra time. It's software. It's not something that interests me. I don't personally go online and use menus, so I'm happy enough to just offer a basic hardware solution where I give you an RGH. It's not like I don't give you anything. I give you XEX menu. I give you a freestyle dashboard. So you can totally use those tools to install whatever you want. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty good basis. And if you're so dependent on somebody else to load even the menu for you, are you really going to understand the RGH well enough to, like, you know, be able to use it? Like, if you don't know enough how to even load a menu, how to drop some files in there, how are you going to possibly, like, make good use of your console? I know the chat is not great. I don't know, you guys. I mean, some of the questions are cool. RGH is a Slim Trinity, but your DVD drive won't work, so I know why it won't read disk. Okay. Weekend, you are the best. Cool. Thanks, King Versace 13. They stopped making 360s. Yeah, they totally did. And I'm impressed as hell that I'm actually still, like, selling them, right? I sell, on an average, about 3 Xbox 360s a week. I'd probably do another 3 or 4 send-ins a week. So somewhere on the neighborhood of 7 or 8 consoles a week, sometimes a little more, some a little low. What do I use my RGH for? I don't use an RGH very much. I make them. I play online on PC. I play online on my Xbox One. I don't really even use the RGH, to be honest. So it doesn't come with games preloaded. No, absolutely not. I do not preload games, period. Yeah, I do. Oh, you know what? I take that back. I have a RGH, and it's super overkill, RGH and X-keyed 360 that I keep upstairs, and I play all of the single-player 360 games that I want on that. Alright, so here is the PCB for the DVD drive. How did I get into modding consoles? Well, I did use them. I did play the 360 when it was current gen and stuff, right? So, I've been modding consoles since 2008, basically. I've been doing RGHs since RGH came out. when you still had to buy the individual components off of eBay and like make your own glitch chips according to the tutorial released by, what is it, Geely or Gleegly, or I don't even, not sure. Hey, that is J-Rock from Team X360. Cool, J-Rock. I make them. Yeah. No, that's totally true. Have I ever had any Jaspers die? Sure, I've seen Jaspers Red Ring, but really infrequently. People, I think their reputation is pretty well earned, that they were a pretty reliable option there. Alright, so I need to focus for a second here. So, power this up. We get not found. We do need the key so that we can flash this. So I need to hit fat key. We'll click yes. So it's to resend the command, you should click yes. Press and hold the probe 3 button, which is this. Probe this point, which I didn't switch. Here we go. Extract complete. So I'll show you on camera what point I just probed. But now there's our key. So we'll save about 5 files here. We'll say yes to the firmware. There's the light on V3 firmware. Come back over here, we'll do the light on erase. We'll say yes, yes. So it sends this erase request, which point we have to send a power reset, which I just did. And now it's gonna be status 72, and I can click right. All of that for that. So to show you the video back again, the point that I touched with that little probe is this one right here, MPX02, it's labeled. This little cluster of them that's right here, it's kind of the one that's Mickey Mouse eared off to the side. King Versace, read your question. Where's it at? I gotta scroll up. If we buy a console from you and we buy it with a hard drive, and it doesn't have preloaded games, what do? You load them. You put the disc in and load them. You can rip them, you can download ISOs off torrent sites, you can do whatever you want. That's the whole point. It's an RGH console at that point. It'll do whatever you tell it to do. You wonder what the longevity of Jaspers is. I think that they'll last a long time. I would say probably every 3 to 5 years I'd crack it open and reapply thermal paste, and it should work for quite a long time. Which glitch chip is better, the Ace V3 or the CR4 XL? I think the CR4 XL is awesome. I just think that it's hard to get and expensive. So for value-wise, the Ace V3 absolutely. How do I figure out what kind of Jasper chip you have? I don't understand that question. There are no different kinds of Jasper chips. Weekend, you have a question. Okay, I want to get into modding consoles. What's the cheapest soldering iron stuff flux that's good? I'm getting swatted. Seriously? I better not. That wouldn't be cool at all. YouTube is friend. We can buy a console from you and it comes. So you just pasted your question again. So I answered that. Is the stream frozen? Oh, my video was stopped. Alright, so lower left. Here we go. So we get write verify failed. In most cases, as long as the write stuff finished here, even if the verify doesn't succeed, it actually still works. What I'm going to do real fast is test the eject functionality of the disk. So power it off, disconnect the SATA, power it on, and then this button will actually cause it to eject, which I just realized now there's a disk in there, so I need to remove that kind of safely, set it off to the side. Alright, so looks like eject is still working, so I'm pretty confident that flash was successful even though the verification failed. That's kind of common. Crypt. Man, I'm getting swatted. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Thank you. Dude, Xbox Modder, you're doing a good job, man. Thank you. I really hope that he doesn't do anything. I had to explain. So my wife, I'm 31 years old, I think. My wife's a couple years older than I am. I had to explain to my wife the other day what swatting was and how she should react if that ever happened to us. Because I basically had somebody propose to me that, like, you know, my name and information is out there. It's not that hard to get a hold of my address because I offer send-in services and stuff. If somebody really wanted to be a dick, that they could totally do that. I have 3 small children under the age of 10. It would be really, really uncool if somebody ever did that to me. I would probably overreact substantially. I'm not sure what I would do, so whatever. Yeah, he left COD in the drive. Thanks for the tutorials. Many failed consoles to get PLL and CPU on the first try. So the PLL bypass point on FATs on the underside, that's a tough point to get used to, man. If you've got a dead box that you can practice on, that's about the only thing that I really know how to say to you, because that PLL point's smashed up in the middle of all sorts of other points and stuff. Yeah, it's me, Xbox Modder. What the heck is swatting? Swatting is when an asshole, and I'll say that loud and proud, when an asshole falsely reports to the police like some crazy situation. They basically call up the cops local in your area and say, oh my god, Aaron at this address has a gun and he's going to shoot his wife and he's freaking out and da 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 da. Like, even though they're across the country, right? So the police do what the police have to do. They respond. They show up at your house, guns blazing, ready to, like, fight with some crazy guy, when in fact it's just some dude running a stream. It seems like it happens mostly to, like, Twitch streamers, you know, people who are doing like gameplay and stuff, and I figure I'm not really big league enough for anybody to be that upset with me. At least I hope not, because that would be a shitty day, man. That would be a really shitty day. Yeah, swatting is not cool at all. Alright, so I'm going to connect up this power supply, connect up the HDMI. We'll go ahead and power this thing up. Why is it not power? Oh, I disconnected my power plug here, under there, when I connected the... Oh crap, now you guys are staring at the corner of my screen. Sorry, I'll fix it in 1 second. There we go. Now my power supply is connected back. So, no, they wouldn't take anything. They would get here and I would explain to them what would happen, and it wouldn't be that big a deal. Yeah. Alright, so power this thing up. Yeah, the 022 usually is something that happens with PLL bypass being a bad solder. So if you do it all over, you know, that's definitely what I would suggest. Alright, so we booted up into the game capture. This is another one where I think my my game capture is kind of incompatible with the video settings on this particular console. It's being weird out there. But I'm going to do is a quick test just to make sure it can read my burned game that I keep around. So there's my retail copy of Dead Island. Right, so there's another copy of Call of Duty. Here's my original retail copy of Dead Island. So I have this nice backup copy of it, right? And it's scratched to shit, man. My whole idea is thinking that if it'll read this game, it should read any game. So... close that. Oh, I just turned the sync. That's this one. Alright, and we'll see if it reads... Oh, now the game capture is working okay. Yeah, PS4 has totally had some stuff. There is a way to use Raspberry Pi to clone the PS4 NAND and basically pirate games that way. But that's the reason that I didn't have anything to do with it, because... well, frankly, I try to avoid anything that's kind of linked to piracy. So you guys are probably seeing some crazy video go by here, but you can also see that it is showing Play Dead Island, the game, and it does load up here. So I think the crazy video that you're seeing has to do with the capture setup that I'm using, but the proof is in the pudding that I'm actually running that copy of Dead Space. I don't think it's a GPU thing, man. Xbox Modder. I've seen several of these that work this way on my capture setup, but then I throw them on like my TV upstairs, and it's perfect. So I really, I don't think it's a GPU issue. I think it's just the weird capture setup that I kind of use here. So there we go. That is how you mod a fat Xbox 360 Light-On drive. That would work on any Light-On series drive, the process we just used there. And man, the Jungle Flasher tutorial is just on par, man. It is basically perfect. So if you need the instructions in detail, just look out or look up the crap, man. I can't string together coherent thoughts. Everybody's got me worked up with the mention of the swatting thing. If you need instructions on how to do the flash that I just did, Google around and find yourself a copy of the Jungle Flasher tutorial, and that will walk you through the whole thing. Yeah, this one was a Jasper, or is a Jasper. It didn't change. We'll close it back up. Go on to the next project. Oh, you guys want me to stop? You want me to keep going? I don't know. People are watching. This is the most people I've ever had in a stream, I think. 20 people. It's kind of cool. ISIS is hacking with PS4. Okay. Yeah, you installed 200 games to your... Dude, I mean, you download the ISOs, you learn how to extract the ISO, and then you copy it over FTP, or you get a big-ass USB hard drive, or, you know, I mean, they sell... I was at Micro Center the other day, which is a local, like, computer retailer. I don't know. There's not that many of them. But I picked up a 128 gigabyte USB 3.0 thumb drive for like $22. That should hold a few dozen games and is so cheap that why not, you know? Keep her going. This is fascinating. Okay, cool. We'll keep going. I got more work to do. You guys might as well hang out and watch me. That was all the screws that were in it. Put this back together. All right, Matt. See you later. Yeah, 2 terabyte. I've had a couple of terabytes set up with RGHs before, even multiple of them, USB external, that sort of stuff. Man, this case really is broken as shit. Look at this corner and stuff. Stan's Mods. That looks dangerously like Satan's Mods. Let's go. Sorry, had a weird laugh. Alright, sorry. What do I recommend? Soldering iron and solder flux. So, I get this stuff off of eBay for like 5 or 6 tubes for a couple of bucks. Amtech Flux. I don't think it's genuine. Hopefully it doesn't have stuff that gives me cancer, because I totally get it from Hong Kong. But, yeah, that works pretty good. And then for a soldering iron, I really like nice equipment. I use nice equipment because nice equipment is nice. It makes your work easier, right? So I use that. It's a Hacko 88D, I think. Let's see. No, it says it right here. FX-888D. That particular one runs right about $100, and it's absolutely worth it in my opinion. If you need something a little cheaper, go with one of the random Chinese manufacturers off of eBay. They make like hot air wand systems plus a soldering iron for like $50-$60. Those are pretty solid. Oh, you know what I will do? I'll show you guys this one. Is I'm going to fire up this ISO application, and I'm going to grab copies of all the files. So this is part of what you get if you ever have me flash a console for you. You get all of that stuff burned onto a disk so that you have backups of your DVD drive firmware. So if that drive ever dies in the future, this customer will be able to pull this files out and flash a replacement PCB or a whole replacement drive if necessary. You don't know how to extract games to XEX. There are applications on the PC that literally are titled like Extract ISO. They'll do the extracting for you, and then you copy over the folder onto your RGH. Axis, I'm glad those controllers worked out for you, man. I really need to do a better job. I listed some bulk options at what I think are real reasonable prices on my website. Nobody else besides you has taken advantage of that at all. So I guess maybe I should drop them. I don't know. Stan, you're buying an RGH. Cool, man. Thanks. Appreciate it. You have that soldering iron. You didn't refund it on Amazon and not give it back. No, why would you ever do that? Yeah, that's no. Who would do that? You got an RGH for $100 for a stoner that had 2 apartments, one for living and the other to hold 200 consoles. He did DVD flashing, red ring fixing, custom Xbox cases, and RGH consoles. Cool. YouTube is friend. I've seen that a couple of times in the chat. What does that mean? YouTube is friend. All right. So while that burning just finished, I'm gonna slap that into a. So this is that was the repair. We'll start up on the next one here in just a second, guys. This is the backups from the DVD drive. You know, I hate to say this, but you know, if you want to try giving RGH a shot on your own, check out GameStop's online deals. The online deals that they offer are regularly pretty darn good. You can oftentimes get a slim 250 gig with a bunch of stuff. Sometimes a couple of games for, you know, $100 flat, that sort of deal. Pretty darn good. All right, so we'll close that. I don't really retain copies of DVD drive information anymore. All right, I'll move this stuff, and we'll pop back over to the main camera, and I'm gonna go grab the next project off the shelf here. I think I got another Unbrick to show you if you want to do that. Yeah. And this is the premium Unbrick upgrade that includes the nandex. So this console, I know that I did. I sold it less than 2 weeks ago, and the customer tried to update their dash after it came out, I think, and managed, or no. The dash update came out, and they accepted the retail dash update, and that bricked their console. So she sent it back and is going to have me do the premium Unbrick service, which is $65, and you get to keep the nandex at the end of the day. So, you know, pretty darn good, I think. Nandex is $45, so you're really only paying an extra $20 to have me do the install for you. Let's see. Your GameStop rips you off. You use eBay on untested Jaspers. Okay. You can't RGH. You had a stroke. You're not coordinated. Yeah, no, that's totally fine, man. That's why I offer the service. For those that want to, I want to try to share the information. Like, I don't want to lock it down. I certainly didn't invent these processes, right? I didn't come up with this stuff. I just read a lot about it and figured out how it worked, kind of. And happy to share that information, and happy to perform a service for those that either can't or won't do it for themselves. Slim with red dot. Man, that's a good deal. $5. You could probably sell the parts for it, right? But I just don't like messing with repairing consoles. It's not worth my time. It's more about the time, right? If I can spend $80 and I have a guaranteed good working slim console to start RGHing, or I can spend $20 or $30 and then have to fix it, I'd rather spend more money and not have to fix it and just get straight to what I'm actually trying to do. takes you 10 minutes to take a slim apart. Yeah, I've had a lot of practice. I think the first one, I actually remember the first slim I ever opened. Somebody brought it to me for DVD drive flashing, and it did. It took me like 45 minutes to take it apart. As you can see now, I can whip one out in 5 minutes or something. Yeah, 40 consoles. Yeah, absolutely. I totally have bought when money was tighter and I didn't have, stuff to spend or had more time than I did money. Totally would buy, simple issued consoles and repair those. I get it. It makes a lot of sense. Oh, this is a 4 gig. That's right. So this one isn't going to get a nandex. It's going to get a couple of little additional headers put in here, and I'll have to send her a video. So she's going to get a matrix programmer. I'm going to install one of these switches in. So you guys will get to see something a little new. I don't think I've ever done this on the channel before. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab the NAND read-write device for this. Where are they at? Here we go. All right. Record time to take apart your Trinity is 3 minutes and 4. I don't time myself. I guess I never tried. That could be cool. Could have a race. Fix it. Xbox monitor. Your old Corona was bricked when you tried to update Dash 2 years ago. You didn't have the CPU key or NAND backup. It had JRunner. Could you still unbrick it? So in that scenario, it would require building donor NAND from, or building a NAND from donor files. So basically, you would flash the ECC file to it. You would boot Zell, which would give you your CPU key back. Then you could use the CPU key and donor files to build a NAND that would work. The complication with that is that oftentimes getting the DVD drive working is pretty challenging. But yeah, it totally can be done, for sure. So this is the Maximus SD tool. And you can see in this, we've got a little pin header, right? So there's the pin header that comes with it. But you can also see that there's already a pin header installed inside this console. And that pin header is what allows you to interact with the 4 gig onboard NAND. By using this little guy, you plug this socket in over the pin header, and then you use the little flex cable between there and the SD tool, and this goes into an SD card reader writer to give you the ability to read and write to the NAND via hardware. You got flagged by Amazon, but seriously, like taxes, money, and a small loan of 1 million subscribers will do just fine. Okay. Do I recommend cleaning all the insides out once in a while? Yeah, blowing it out with a air compressor is a good idea. It doesn't boot at all. It makes an eject sound when you try to turn it on. Yeah, it totally could be bricked. What I described earlier still stands. You want to get tons of Xbox 360, and then you'll pay your friend to install glitch chips. Okay. We're a dirty, dusty console. Yeah, I agree. I'll clean them out if they're dirty when I get them usually. So first things first, I'm going to move this pin header out of my way. Is this little pad on the Matrix or Maximus programmer here needs to be bridged in order for the thing to work right. So that's just a simple little solder bridge. Bloop. And then we need a cable. So we'll grab this cable and insert that into here, like so. Snap that down. Then we'll take the other side, same story, ribbon cable into cha and snap that down. So now we have the tool that we would need to interact with the NAND. But there's one other little segment here, is that enabling and disabling the NAND from being able to be read and written requires that pin 15 here be bridged to this side of the crystal. You can actually see if the image is clear enough that that's been previously soldered to. So in the scenario where I'm doing a premium upgrade, instead of leaving that permanently affixed, what I have are these nice little toggle switches that will open and close that. So I'll install a couple of wires to this, actually permanently mount this in the Xbox. It's just slimline enough the DVD drive fits on top of it, no problem. And then we'll run one side over to that point, we'll run the other side to pin 15, and then when the customer needs to read and write their NAND, they just flip the switch in the appropriate direction. They don't have to do any soldering at all. They plug in their pin header, you know, they plug in this steel onto the pin header, flip the switch in the other direction, and they can read and write their NAND. That's a RIP consoles. Whenever you bought them, till whenever it die, rest in pieces. Peace. Okay, cool. So first thing I'm going to do is get a little different angle there. Is the video quality relatively clear for you guys? Can you tell what's going on here, or is it kind of just a gamble whether or not you're actually seeing good content? I picked up a new a USB camera to use with this, and supposedly it's 720p, and the video looks okay to me, but it looks a little choppy, not choppy, a little pixelated-ish, you know. So I'm going to get some spare wires out here, and the first one, like I said, needs to go from pin 15 here up to the side of our switch. So I'm going to grab pull my little snips. I'm going to trim off some of the end of this wire. I'm going to get a little extra solder on pin 15, which is the end one here. And then I'm going to go ahead and solder this bad boy to it. Alright. So there's pin 15 wired up. We're going to bring that down to let's see, social engineering reason I got flagged. I went through live chat instead of phone. It's clear for me, not speaking for everyone. Oh, were you doing that, what do they call that? Returning or whatever on Amazon, where basically you buy something and then you holler up at Amazon chat and you're like, oh, I never got it. Even though the tracking says it's delivered, you just argue with them. And eventually they just refund you for it. Is that what you're talking about? Alright. So there is my nice little bed of solder to connect a wire to. Flip it over and do the same on the other side. It's wiggling all over. Usually I get my helping hands out to do this, but alright. Now I'll put this back, set this up on its side, and then basically just reheat that solder and then set the wire down into it to make the connection. There we go. There's one side of the equation done. Equation, that makes it sound like I'm smart. I'm just connecting wires. It feels like I'm playing with Play-Doh. It's not even that big of a deal, right? Alright, so this one will go to the other side of the switch, and then this little area here. You didn't change stores, you got flagged or billing address, so you moved, you're flagged, you're only 18, you could time, yeah. I wouldn't recommend doing that in the first place. I don't know. It's not, whatever. Not something I really care about a lot, I guess, so whatever. If you got some stuff out of it and you didn't, you know, hurt anybody, I guess, that's not the worst thing in the world. Alright, so that side's in there, connected now. And then we just need this side connected here. Alright, so now our switch is in place. I plug in my hot glue gun over here. Everybody always gives me crap about my usage of hot glue, but I dare you to find something else that works just as good, that, you know, comes right off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, cleans it right off, no problem. So I think it's a solid option. All right. All right, so while the hot glue gun works up, how much do I sell modded Xbox for? So check out store.weekendmodder.com. Right now I just have consoles up with 250 gig hard drive. It's a whole preloaded setup at $210. And then if you're looking for something a little cheaper, pick up your own console. Slims can be had for 80, 90 bucks, whatever. And do a send-in. That's just $75. So $75 plus the cost of whatever console you want. And I'll do the RGH myself and send it back out to you. So, all right, let's see if this is warmed up yet. It is not. It's on the high setting, so it shouldn't take but just another second. While that does it, I guess we can set up for the actual unbrick. So let me get a little perspective here. Is a Corona easier than a Trinity to RGH? No. I think pretty factually, because of all the variations in Coronas, they're generally accepted to be a little bit more difficult. They potentially require post-fix adapters and 4 gig NAND read-write kits like this one. So Trinities, on the whole, are definitely simpler for sure. So, all right, I got a nice SD card reader-writer here. This one's worked for me for a long time. Do I rip off RGH sellers that way as well? Yeah, I wasn't quite going there, but that's kind of what I was driving at a little bit, is that you buy something, you need to pay for it, really. I don't feel good about the idea of, even from Amazon. I get the whole, like, it's just a corporation, I didn't hurt a person. Amazon makes plenty of money. Like, I understand those arguments, and I've probably used that sort of rationalization myself before, but really and truly, that's not the right thing to do. It is stealing. It doesn't always feel like stealing, but it is. But I'm not your mom. Do what you want. Like, you know what I mean? Ryan, if you ship your console to me, how will they know where I'm shipping? And do you put the address on the box and my address on the... Yeah, I have a send-in form. So again, sendin.weekendmodder.com. There's a form that you get after you go through the checkout process on my website, and it explains all that. It's got my address. You fill out the form, and you include it with the console when you send it to me. Dude, don't be sorry, man. Nobody's trying to be your mom. We're not here to preach about that. It's just, I wouldn't necessarily brag about, that stuff. That's all. All right, so what I've done, again, we've got the USB SD card reader set up here. I just got a little USB extension. I've got the pin header plug. It's going to go down with Maximus facing the way that we can read it through the front of the console. And I'm going to really carefully put that down on the pins that are already installed here. So I'm just making sure that I don't bend a pin or anything. So now that that's down, I go ahead and kind of partially pre-insert the SD card into the thing. It's not all the way in there. This is mostly just for me because the power actually needs to be applied to the console before you connect the SD card to the reader writer. So I use a little adapter on the end of my fat power supply to power Slims. So I'll click that back on there, plug this in, and right now the position on my switch is in the position at the line. And that line indicates that the circuit is closed, meaning it's a single wire. The O would mean open, which would mean the circuit's not closed, that it's broken, like the wire has been snipped. So with it closed, we're in the position that we want to be to read and write the NAND. So I'll go ahead and fully insert, and the little light comes on the SD tool. And I should get a nice little pop-up on my computer here that tells me that I need to format the drive. And I didn't. So that tells me I'm not entirely certain this connection was correct and stuff. So I'm going to look here. I see the USB drive. Okay, and it does tell me I need to format. So here, let me switch up to the desktop view. It tells me you need to format the disk and drive G before you can use it. I don't want to do that. So I'll just say, oh, cancel. Now I'm going to load up the original NAND for this one. So I'm going to go into the search and just type in. I have so many consoles. 63071314705. So I do a search, and that should find the backups for this. There we go. I'm going to load up that UPD flash. And then this would have been on an old dash as well. So I'm going to generate a new one. I'm going to hit the create XE build image. And then this prompt comes up. Unless you put it there, delete it. I didn't put it there, so yes, delete it. We'll let it generate a new UPD flash.bin, and then we'll write that to the console. So there's the updated one, which will be on the new dash. So I'm going to say write NAND. It's got my drive letter here. I'm going to say write. It asks me, are you sure? I say yes. Should take just a few seconds, like 10 or so. Bada bing, bada boom. We are now ready to disconnect the SD card, disconnect power, unplug the reader-writer device, just gently pulling it up evenly so as not to bend the pins. And then, very important, switch back to the O or open position, right? So that this bridge between that crystal and here is not present. And the console should be unbricked now. We should be able to boot it up, and I will do just that. So let me run back through this. You were once ripped off by an eBay guy, bought an RGH, reported it broke, and sent back a different... Yeah, that happens. That's why I don't do business with eBay. Do I play Skyrim? I played a couple hours of it. I'm not a big Skyrim guy. You always get fake buyers when you sell RGHs on eBay. Yeah, I would not sell RGHs on eBay. I know that there's not a huge lot of market. Like, it's hard to find a way to sell it, but man, eBay is just a bad deal since it's prohibited on eBay, right? The item is not technically an allowed item. So no matter what, if the buyer opens any sort of case, you're screwed. I mean, just period, right? How long does it take for me to get a console? That depends on how you ship it. Usually they're in my my hands for 3 or 4 days. You're out of the console, game selling mods, you couldn't deal with eBay. I totally get that. eBay sucks. Do I have a kick or something? Going to be able to RGH because no one replied to you. Weekendmodder@gmail.com. I absolutely read every email that comes into that and will reply to you. So shoot me an email with the details. I'd be happy to take a look. Did I do any services in the original Xbox days? No, that predates me. Unfortunately, I was not doing anything console-wise back in the original Xbox days. So we're getting our RGH starting up here. We've got red LEDs, I think, just because, or I know because this one was done with red LEDs, and we're getting glitching. So that's a positive sign. We just got a successful boot. So if we pop over to the game capture, oh, and it started up like a first run. That's pretty normal when you build a fresh NAND image. So you just go through this first time setup stuff, tell it no, blah, blah, blah. Tell it connect later, and it'll ask you if you want to connect an Xbox Live account. You tell it no. Go play. See your post in 7 Sins. I was going through forums for your names. Yeah, I like 7 Sins a lot. I haven't really spent a ton of time in that community recently because I've been so busy with actual work. There we go, 17511. So unbricked and updated. We are doing good with this console. So there we go. Power it off. Pop back over. So we'll unplug. I'm not sure how I feel about all that exposed wire. I think I'm gonna give this some hot glue insulation, as weird as that is, just to kind of keep it from potentially making contact with anything else. Oh, I didn't show you guys that. Sorry. Basically, I just floated it in some hot glue to try to seal off those metal contacts from being, kind of too exposed. You can see here also a little better now that I'm up close how on that end pin there that I'm just soldered to very gently. So what I also like to do is put a little bit of hot glue over kind of fragile connections like that. So in case anybody ever gives them a firm tug, they won't break a trace or ruin anything. Request do Sonos. Yeah, Sonos doesn't mean a whole lot to me. I'm not that interested in it. Sorry. Okay, thanks. So Sonos, no, yeah. I've seen the kits. I've thought about programming them. There's lots of customization that could be done. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, nobody wants to pay for your time, what it's really worth, and what it would really take for that sort of stuff. If it takes me an hour and a half to do an RGH, and I charge $75, right? End to end, RGH, hour and a half. If it takes me an extra 30 minutes to do Sonos, a custom sound, would you want to pay another $40 for that? If it takes an hour to do one of those, I don't really know. I haven't done that many. Would you want to pay another $75 for that? The same story is like custom cases. People ask me, do you do custom cases, right? Do you do cases where we will cut out a window and paint it and put your favorite NFL team's logo on it or whatever? I totally can. I have done them in the past even. But the question again for me comes back to, is anybody going to be willing to pay for that? If it takes me 4 hours to do your custom case, do you want to pay $300 for, $300 is wrong. Do you want to pay $30-40 an hour times 4 or 5 hours for a custom case? You want to pay $100, $150 for a custom case? The math just doesn't really work. For me, at least. My time is a little more valuable. If I'm not doing Xboxes, I can go work overtime at my day job and make, more. I don't want to out myself too hard, but I can go make more money working overtime at my day job than I could doing some of these custom Xbox things where they're really big time investments, but they don't have a great rate of return. Alright, so we'll screw this thing back together. Man, I only have one send-in left on my shelf now, and I think it's a full console RGH. I think the people whose consoles these are probably will think that it's kind of cool that they could watch a video of their repair actually being done. Hopefully they think that. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is really Hey, Okie. My 2-year-old son is up now and going to be joining us, so... that's true. Sharky's Custom costs $75 for a window. Exactly, man. $75, and that's entirely reasonable. It takes hours to perform that custom cutout, get the plexiglass, put it in, do it so that it looks good and not like crap. So it's not worth it for him to do it for less money than that. It's not worth it for you as the customer because it doesn't really seem like a $75 feature, and I get that. But, that's just kind of where it ends up. Oakley, come here, buddy.
What?
Do you want to say hi to the internet?
No.
You don't? Why not?
I don't have a mess.
Come here. Oh, you're a mess. Where did you get a mess?
Upstairs.
Upstairs in what? What? You're like soaked. Is that pee?
No.
Is it water?
Yeah.
From where?
Up there.
Up there where? In the bathroom?
Yeah.
Were you playing in the toilet?
No.
You're supposed to be taking a nap. You're not going to take a nap? Here. Say hi to the internet.
No.
Look, right here. You see Oakley?
No.
Say hi.
No.
I think we're going to have to go clean you up.
Oh.
Oh! Alright, you're soaked. My son is soaked. This has been fun. It's been going on for an hour and a half. Don't ever say hi to the internet. Yeah, that's totally true. I'm not going to make it to the full RGH, I don't think. So you've watched an Unbrick, a DVD flash, and a fat Unbrick. That seems like probably about all that I'm going to get to right now. So thank you for spending some time with me. I appreciate it. It's always fun to do these streams. I like the conversation, most of the time at least. Xbox Modder, thanks for handling the mod side for me. I appreciate that as well. Some of those trolls were being a little obnoxious. I haven't gotten swatted yet, so that's positive. Hopefully that doesn't happen. So yeah, I'm gonna call it a day with this stream. So you guys have fun. Thanks very much for hanging out with me, and we'll do it again soon. All right, bye guys.